You're in for a wild ride, I think. Her actions make me want to yeet her through a window. Ryan? Male pride and all that malarkey. Spicy mamma mia.
Oh, hello, Papa.
We are starting I Can Surf today. That was very out of tune. I'm starting this buddy read today. Welcome to another spoiler-filled vlog. If you don't want to know what happens in I Can Surf, if you are behind like me, and you are way behind the times and have not yet read I Can Surf and would not like to know what goes on in said book, please click away now, because this will be chock-filled, full of spoilers, my immediate reactions to everything that I read within this chonker. And yeah, you have been warned. It will also be mentioned in the title and in the thumbnail somewhere that this is spoiler filled. And if I get one comment saying, oh my god, you give spoilers, which happened in one of my other videos, which I promptly deleted said comment because it said spoilers, your comment will be deleted. Just saying. So once again, spoilers ahead for those of you who don't like reading thumbnails and titles. And for those of you who do and would like to know my thoughts on this book, keep watching, because you're in for a wild ride, I think. I'm in for a wild ride. Are you coming along with me? Are you going to be my support system? Probably. I do have Rosie and Liam to currently fall back on, as well as Becca and Liv on standby to verbalise all my thoughts too. So, let go. Hi friends, I finished my buddy read pages of I Can Surf today, and I already have a lot of thoughts. I was told that your opinion of Nesta changes in this, and so far, not true. I know we are at the beginning, I've literally read 52 pages. However, I do have thoughts, and these thoughts are as follows. I know that this does heavily centre around Nesta, her mental health, and the situation with that, and the things that happen with the King of Highburn and her powers of darkness that no one really understands. I do get that, and I'm going to preface this by saying I fully understand that. However, her actions make me want to yeet her through a window. So she's basically spending all this money that Farah and Reese have made available to her, and she's just squandering it on sex, drugs, and well, sex and alcohol as far as I know, and gambling. And she seems to be at the moment very much in her own head. She's the victim, and that everyone's doing these things to her, or like making her go to Windhaven because they hate her and they're trying to control her, and everyone's trying to control her, and she's the one that out of the sisters that, you know, doesn't get what she wants. And it's feeling a bit very I'm the victim, woe is me, feel sorry for me, which again, I know, mental health, innit, like we're in her head, I get it, but I feel like screaming at the pages, like just see it from their perspective. It's hard with mental health to know how to approach someone and deal with it. So they've given her space, given her time to try and deal with her issues, and she's not done that, and instead she's just pushed everyone away. And even Amran, she's the little bond, the little sisterly sort of friendship that they had going, which I thought was so cute. She's even ruined that by pushing her away and doing something, I'll say something to Amran, which has made Amran sort of step back from their friendship a little bit, which I'm really sad about, because I was hoping that that Nesta would come round to everyone else through Amran introducing her to the gang. And there's a comment that she makes about her going out and finding a new family. She was taken away by Tamlin. Farah was taken away from her family, and prior to that she was doing everything to keep her family alive because Nesta did nothing, Elaine did nothing, and their father was letting them starve because he lets him break his legs. So, like, I'm sorry, but you can't blame Feyre for trying to survive in a world where she was thrust into it after being stolen away from her family. You can't. And it's like she can't see the bigger picture. She can't see that Feyre, yes, she's built this house with Rhys's money. Yes, she's done all this stuff. But she offered her a room. She offered her a place with the family. She's offered her to be part of this new family that they've created together, that she wants Elaine to be a part of. She wants them to be together as sisters. She wants to help. But there's just this darkness around her, and obviously she's still having nightmares. She's still heavily affected by what's happened to her. And I feel like that's going to take a shit ton of therapy. I don't know how the hell she's going to get through that. I don't think just talking is going to do anything, do much of anything. But it is the first step, as they say. So I'm hoping that with this training that she's going to be made to do and things like that, that inevitably she's going to start breaking down those walls, isn't she? Hopefully, fingers crossed. But she can't blame her attitude. You can't blame her attitude solely on the fact that she was turned into a fae either, because she had this really horrible attitude towards Feyre, especially from right at the beginning of the book. So before the cauldron, before the whole turning fae thing, I don't know what that was, but before that whole thing, she was already an arse to Feyre. She was already very much like this. So I don't know how much is mental health or how much is just her as a person being a snark. So I'm confused. Clearly from the way that Cassian's acting, you know, there's feels. There's very many feels. But I just wanna hold Cassian. I want to hold Cassian more than Wayne. Anyway, not to the point. This is not what we're here to discuss. But yeah, we'll see where we go from here. But day 1, buddy read pages done, and I have so many thoughts. And now I need to go and dive into another headfucker book, which is Middle Game. So that's for another vlog, so keep your eyes out for that. Probably will be out before this one, fingers crossed. But I'm gonna go spend the rest of my night finishing off this chunky motherfucker, and yeah. Fair dawning, good friends. I've just updated my vlog for today, so I'm gonna pop on here and update you on A Court of Silver Flames. We are now on day 3, I think. And currently, I did accidentally read a little bit ahead by a chapter, but I was audiobooking and making tea, so I didn't do it on purpose because I did technically lose track of time. However, by the time this vlog goes out, Liam and Sophie would have already read the rest of the book anyway, so this is not going to be a spoiler for them. So, this part was where we see Nesta starting to soften a little bit, maybe realise that you know, she doesn't want her family to hate her. When Cassian says that they do, it clearly hurts her. You know, the people, the acolytes in the library are clearly working their magic on her as well, because Clotho, she can't speak, but she says so much because she writes it down. But I'm saying, Clotho's not had much hands-on time with Nesta in the library, even though she's there to help out Clotho and the acolytes. But she's met this girl called Gwyn. She's already done a selfless act by helping her out, because the House of Wind responds to Nesta and like puts food in front of her, and when she threw a paddy with and didn't do what she was supposed to do, the house stopped her from going into a special small library and stuff. I just liked the house responds to it, but I don't know why. Is it something to do with the magic? Because Cassian's already questioned that, like, although the house does put like food in front of them when they go, they don't ask the house stuff, or they don't talk to the house, and the way that Nesta sort of admitted that she does. So Cassian has sort of started questioning that and being like, what made you talk to the house? Like, what's that about? So is that something to do with the magic that she's got? I don't know. but I feel like they're trying to train her because they also maybe potentially possibly might want her to be able to gain access to her magic, but in a more controlled way, because obviously the last time she used it, King of Highburn, power all out of control, more like it, do you know what I mean? So she's shut down and not used the magic since then. I think the training and the job with the acolytes in the library is obviously to train her body, and then obviously to train her mind, and putting her in touch with the ladies there that, you know, that have been through trauma prior to this. I think it's gonna do her some good. I'm really hoping this Gwyn character that she's met is a good person, because I'll be really, really upset if she's not a good person. I don't know what else to say, but I will see you on the morrow, I guess, with another update. I might leave it a couple of days for an update again, but it depends how much happens in tomorrow's section. We'll see. Hello. I just realised that my washer is on, so I'll make it quick. I am loving Akasif so far. We've just got to the part where Cassie and Nesta have both pledged each other once each. I am enjoying it. It does seem like, maybe it's just because I've been reading it so fast and I've just been really enjoying it. It just seems very much like she's gone from being very, very stubborn, and in like 200 pages she's literally just melting in his hands now. Although in front of other people they are still being very standoffish, but also obviously the scent thing, the fear thing, people are going to be able to tell that that's the thing. We know Fear is pregnant now and it's a boy, whoop whoop. I already know a potential spoiler. I don't know how it comes about. I don't know if Nesta goes into bitch mode again. Well, she must do, but she's on this way to find this death trove. She's realised that it's only her and Elaine that can do it. She don't want Elaine to do it, she's doing it. With the whole being pregnant thing, somebody did let it slip before that the one thing they don't like about the way that Nesta acts in this book is that she basically gets snappy and tells Feyre that like the baby or her is going to die if she gives birth or something, because there's something going on with her and the baby or something. So I don't know exactly the ins and outs, but I've heard that was a thing that happens. Whether it's someone just trying to pull my leg because I said I didn't want spoilers, I don't know. If apparently she says it and Feyre doesn't know and they've kept it from Feyre. So if that's the case, if she said something like that out of spite, again, not sure I can forgive someone who would to do something like that just out of spite. Something that serious. If not, they shouldn't have kept it from her anyway. If they have kept it from her, and if that really is a thing, yeah, I think that's why people say they don't like Reese, because they kept that from her. I'm sure that there was something around that, but you know, when I say don't spoil something for me, I mean don't spoil it for me. If I go seeking spoilers, then obviously it's fine. It's like some lad at work decided to tell me who saves the day at the end of Spider-Man. That to me, after I've literally told him I've not seen it yet, do not spoil it. You tell me how the film ends. So that was annoying. But anyway, that was by the by. I have read slightly ahead on the pages, only because, well, I say only, partly because I forgot what page I was on, because I was also like audibly reading along while busying myself with other things, and the other part is because I don't know how much I'm going to get to read over the weekend, because I do have TBRPG-a-thon prompts to keep up with, and I'm over at my family's house, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my buddy read pages read over the weekend as well as read what I need to read for the TBRPG-a-thon. But yeah, I might read ahead for my buddy read pages, and there might be like a couple of days break of me updating you. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying seeing more of Cassian as a character, finding out more about him. I really would like to get to know more about Asriel as well. I really do want to know about his past, and I know that he's had they've all had like traumas and stuff, but finding out more about things from Cassian's perspective has been really nice. I would really like to get an Elaine and Asriel, not necessarily get them together, but get a book where we get their perspectives and their thoughts and a bit more about their history. So that would be nice at some point, maybe. Even if it is just in like a little novella style thing, I think it'd be nice. And yeah, this Gwyn, I really want to like her, and she's done absolutely nothing to make me feel like she is not a nice person. She helped Nesta. She stopped her from turning around and this potential darkness getting her from the lower floors. And she seems to be guiding her in the right way, but Nesta just let her in on the death trough thing when Reese said that they didn't want anyone to know. So I feel like that may come back to bite her in the ass at some point. But I'm hoping this Gwen is going to take what she's given her and run with it in a good way and try and find ways to help her find this death trove and get all this bullshit over and done with before the crone can get a hold of it. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to head off now and start reading the rest of the things I need to read for TBRPG-a-thon, and I will update you next time I have something to update you on, which might be Sunday, might be tomorrow, we'll see. Hey, it's been a few days and I've got a few updates on this bad boy. So I'm still a little bit ahead of these guys, but in my defense, I was pottering around my mum's house while my mum was watching a film that I didn't really want to watch, and I started listening to some more of this, and I got a bit carried away and got a little bit ahead of myself. But by the time this vlog's up, we'll have all read it anyway. So I'm currently on page 440 and I have thoughts. So first off, loving the fact that all the acolytes are slowly wanting to get involved in the training. Absolutely loving that. Female empowerment, absolutely brilliant. I love how patient Cassian is with them and how understanding he is of their boundaries and things, and how Nesta is like persevered with it, but in a way that like she was not being forceful with them, she wasn't getting huffy about it, she was trying to encourage these women to just learn some defensive skills and learn how to stand up for themselves and just be strong in a way where she's not saying go out and cause fights, but you know, if someone comes to you, then you know how to defend yourself. Do you know what I mean? Love that. Obviously, we need to talk about the smut. So, Sarah J. Maas. I thought Akamath was smutty. This is like spice level 5. Is it 5? 4 or 5? Not. I'd say spice level 5 without any kinks, but it's still spicy. Spicy, mamma mia. And I like it. I like it a lot. And I'm not sure. But I get second-hand embarrassment when people have like public displays of affection in a way where it's like steamy displays of affection. So when obviously Nesta decided that she was going to try and scry, I'm still not really 100% sure why Amren and her fell out. It does mention what Amren said to her, but it doesn't say why Amren said that to her and what prompted Amren to suddenly stop trying to be there for Nesta the way that she had been previously. So I still don't fully know what went on with those two, but obviously it does mention that Amren basically said that she was she was doing shit all with her life, and maybe she's got tired of the way she was treating people. But yeah, anyway, when they'd convinced her to scry for the trove, and then there was the whole thing where Cassian warmed the room by kissing her, and there was this whole, everyone knew what was going on anyway though, didn't they? Everyone knew because they consent the sex, do you know what I mean? It was obvious. However, the whole public display of like the heated kiss, and then everyone was like, oh my god, you heated the room. Like, does Cassian have more powers than we know? Or is it just because him and Nesta Are they mated? I don't know. Did I say this before? I don't know if they are mated or not. Like Julian and Elaine. I'm a bit gutted that like Julian's out of the way. I liked Julian as a character. The fact that he'd seen the error of his ways, and I'm not really sure what the point of making him and Elaine mates was if he then stays away and nothing's happening with them. And I feel like her and Az would make more of a pair than Julian and her. It's just a bit strange. But anyway, that's for SJM to sort out, not me. I'm not an author. I'm liking the way the story's going. I'm like getting to know Cassian more and Nesta, and she's growing on me. I understand that having resentment for yourself leads you to act out in certain ways towards other people. However, it still bugs me that she didn't lash out at Elaine before all this happened, but she did resent Feyre, and she was a cow to Feyre. There's no excuse for that, really. Just because Nesta was more of a mummy's girl and Feyre was more of a daddy's girl or whatever, and because Feyre used to go against what society expected of her, and Nesta wanted to be, you know, married off to a wealthy young man, and Feyre didn't, and she resents her for the way that she used to stand up against her, that kind of belief. And seems a bit basic for me. There's a reason to resent your own sister. It's just a bit strange. But yeah, I'm glad that she's coming around to being more open with Cassian, and I really just want them to get past the point now where they're both just like, yeah, it's sex, because they both know, and we all know, that it's not just sex. I know she's still got stuff to work on, but this whole thing about her power being death, that's a revelation, isn't it? Does it fit her personality? Probably. But what does it mean? I need to know what that means. Will she be able to control it? I don't know. Because she's taken it from the cauldron. If they do, obviously they can't destroy the cauldron. Will the cauldron come back for her again? Like, I don't understand. And she can wear this mask without, and like take it off freely without it like corrupting her. It's all a bit much. But I don't know what this connection is between her and Cassian. I can't remember the last bit that I read. Oh yes, Cassian said hold on tight, because I think they were going for a bit of a rough session instead of the I can't really say it was tame the way that they were before, but yeah. It was basically telling her to hold on tight because she was in for a bumpy ride. So yeah, that's it. I'm trying to think of everything else that happened. It's more that slowly developing with the Warriors. I'm still convinced that she's gonna try and put herself forward for the right. I've just got that in my head because it's been mentioned again about the Valkyries. I really think that she might put herself forward for the right, and if she does, I feel like that might be a cliffhanger that this ends on, where she's putting herself forward for it all. But she wants to prove that she's a warrior, and she wants to prove that she can defend herself, and she's not going to let anything or anybody hurt her the way that arsehole did before. So yeah, I do like her more now, and I do understand why she would push people away. I just, maybe it's because that's not the kind of person that I am. It just bugs me. Bugs when people shut down like that. But again, it's different. People do mental health differently, don't they? So with the mental health rep in this, I think she deals with it very, very well. I've spoken to a couple of people who said they can relate to Nesta because that's what they do. Maybe I dislike her so much because that's not how I deal with my issues, but each to their own. Everyone's different. I'm worried about the fact that the next book in this series doesn't even have a publication date yet. Unless she's going to do like a really short promo period and just drop it this year. I don't think we're going to get another book in the series till 2023, which kind of leaves me wanting more. I think I am really enjoying this, so I'm so glad that I finally got around to reading it, and I'm loving Liam's reactions, and I'm really loving Rosa's reactions. Rosa's reactions are a lot like mine, which is like, what the fuck. Anyway, that is all from me for today. We've got another week of this. The other updates won't be this long because I've literally updated you on like 2 or 3 days worth of stuff and reeled off my thoughts to you. But yeah, I'm nervous for how this might end, but I'm also excited. I'm gonna go and edit now because I need to edit my weekly vlog and go to bed. So peace. Hello friends, welcome to Tuesday. Just now Tuesday, the 25th of January, and Simon, I've just been talking about Shadowhunters on my weekly vlog, so ignore that name. Liam and Rosie are now ahead of me for reasons. Liam's got to work and Rosie's just impatient and read ahead, so I can't blame you, Rosie, promise. I do it all the time, as you're well aware. So in order for me to catch up, I think I need to get to like at least chapter 55 to catch up to them. But at the moment, the thing that I mentioned that I was told that happens about Nesta telling Feyre about the baby, that's just happened. Obviously her and Cassian slept together again. She put the fear of God into Eris, which I absolutely love. That whole him trying to put Cassian down and her sticking up for Cassian. Just the way that he sort of like got a bit like, oh shit. And then the way that she stood up for Feyre to Tamlin. But she's still very much a petulant child about Feyre, and that needs to stop. She needs to get over that. Feyre's clearly got over it. Just because she doesn't feel she deserves Feyre's love doesn't mean that Feyre doesn't love her, and doesn't mean that that then entitles her to talk to Feyre like shit or be a bitch to Feyre. I still don't understand that whole thing. I don't think I will ever understand that whole thing because it just doesn't compute in my brain. I can understand lashing out at people when you're angry with yourself, because I do it myself. I think we all do it. But the way that she said to Amren, like, oh, Feyre doesn't love me, she clearly does. Everything she has done for Nesta is because she loves her. She doesn't want her to throw herself away and like throw her life away into a hole of drink and having sex with random strangers, and she wants to do better for herself. So that's why she's done all this. That's why she invited her to live with her. And she's still got it in her head that she's, yeah, I don't like that. I really don't like that, as you can tell, because I continually mention it, but I hate it. I don't understand Amren's behaviour. Yes, Nesta said that she wasn't going to change, and etc. And yes, she's got this power inside her, but just because, like, she's not even tried to speak to her to see if she's changed. She's just been very judgy. The same with Rhys. She's been very judgy based on her previous behaviours. And yes, I know it's hard to let someone in and see people changing, but if they even just watched her train, and maybe they have to watch her train with the girls that she now wants to be like Valkyries, if they watched her with Cassian, if they just did that rather than judging her, they would realise that she's trying to do better, and that them being judgy fuckers and keeping things from her. Since when was secrets ever a good thing? Clearly when she found out, which was inevitable, she was going to find out, because Feyre voted for her to find out, and Feyre would always back Nesta because she's her sister, obviously. And it was obvious that when she found out, she would kick off. So why would they not have just approached her as a group and been like, we found this out, we're not really sure what it means, but we felt like you need to know, and treat her more like part of the family? Because hiding things from people, as I've also found out with Feyre, is never going to be a good thing. Like, you can't say that they're hiding that from Feyre to protect her, because when she starts to give birth, she's going to realise that she's dying, and then she's not going to survive it. So why? And then any potential chance that she's going to have to prepare herself not to panic, it's not going to happen. Like, in my mind, it's like, if you prepare her, then she's not going to panic, and then she's going to have more control, and potentially, hopefully, something might be able to get done about it. But if she's then panicking and flailing when she's pregnant and thinking like something's wrong, everybody knows that panicking during labour is never a good thing. So they've just gone about it the wrong way. Reese is being an arse, Amron's being an arse, and I just don't like it. I really don't like the way they're treating Nesta. Yeah, she does wholeheartedly deserve a lot of the snarkiness, but if anyone, it should come from Farah. Not Reese on Farah's behalf or Amron on Farah's behalf. If anyone has a right to be pissed off and angry at Nesta and speak to Nesta the way that they're spoken to, it should be Farah. Reese just needs to back off and get out of the way. Anyway, yeah. That was a rant, wasn't it? I do apologise. So we're now at a point where, obviously, in her anger and talking about, you know, keeping things from you for, you know, out of respect and blah blah blah, and like, I respect Hamlin, she's my friend, that made Nesta snap and come out with the fact that they'd kept it from her that she was going to be losing the baby or she would die during labour because of the wings situation, and the fact that Farah should have shifted into her Illyrian form before getting pregnant, but now it's too risky to shift into her Illyrian form while she's pregnant in order to give birth safely, so she's not going to be able to give birth safely as a fit. So that whole situation there, Farah now knows. But still, Farah is very calm about it. She's obviously still really pissed off at her friends. But Reese went off and was like, I'm going to kill Nesta. And Farah was the one who was calming him down, being like, you were an ass. You kept things from me as my mate, as my one true love. You lied and kept things from me knowing that I would die. Like, what the fuck? And she's still trying to make peace. So, if anyone doesn't like Farah, I don't understand how you can not like Farah. Because all she wants is the family she hasn't had growing up to just be together. Like, her mum was a bitch. Her dad was a coward. Growing up, she didn't really have sisters she could rely on. She finally found a family that she loves and that cares for her as much as she cares for them. And she just wants everyone to be a part of that happy family. It's not difficult to understand. It's really not difficult to understand, and I don't know why people can't see that for their own, like, biases towards other people and stuff. And I just feel like people need to just stop being so up their own asses about things. I can kind of understand why people go off Reese at this point, because his behaviour is very wild. And again, I know that it's like a primal thing, like protect your mate, but at the end of the day, he was in the wrong keeping things from the person that he loves. And I don't ever believe that there's any reason to keep something from someone you love, ever. And especially when it comes to their own life. And something that's growing inside them. Like since when were other people okay to make decisions for her? I don't, it's to the puzzlement. And he claims that he don't want to be High King. No. I can't imagine him as High King. I feel like it would be harder to deal than he is now. People would cower to him way more. I don't know if I'd like him as High King. Unless Farah can get him to tone his shit down and show her the respect she deserves as High Lady, and as his mate, and as someone he's supposed to love. It just baffles me. 'Tis a puzzlement, my friends. 'Tis a puzzlement. So we've just gone to the point where Cassian's being called with Nesta. He's taken her into the wilderness, and basically the punishment, rather than Reese killing her, is going to be him forcing her to hike, which is something she's never done nor never wanted to do. So and Nesta knows this is a punishment, so she's taking it like a woman and just putting up and shutting up and taking her punishment the way that she should, because despite people keeping things from her, she didn't have any right to go off the way she did and hurt Farah the way she did. So, you know, I think punishing her by making a hike through the wilderness for a bit is what she deserves. But then again, Amron deserves punishment and Reese deserves punishment of some kind for and the boys, to be fair, Cassian and Azriel, keeping things from Feyre regarding her baby and her womb and her body and her life. But anyway, that's me ranting for 9 minutes and 41 seconds to you about the injustices of the God of Silver Flames. You'd think it was real life, wouldn't you? But I'm going to go now and get ready for my sprints. If you are on my sprints tonight, leave a flame emoji in the comments if I see you on my sprints tonight with Kendra and the girls. But yeah, adios. I'm currently on chapter something of Akasif, and I need to vent. I vented at Liv and Becca, and I need to just vent to the vlog because I need to get this out because I'm still not okay with this. So we've now gone past the point where I can't remember where I last discussed things with you. There's been the mountain and the emotional breakdown, and then they've just been booking constantly, and then they kind of admitted that they sort of had feelings for each other, but that was after Rhys was very, also reluctant to try and potentially sell and exchange Nesta for anything that Eris wanted to give him to keep his alliance at this ball where Nesta was like an amazing dancer. And I feel like even though it's supposed to be sort of a ruse to get Eris to not betray them, I feel like if Nesta had agreed to marry Eris, then Rhys would have had no problem with making the exchange, despite the fact that Cassian and her, we have now confirmed, are mates. So let's get to the mate bit in a second, but let's just jump back to the winter solstice and them saying that they are theirs, each other's forever. After she almost rejected him again and pushed him away again when he gave her a gift. I was like, my heart sunk at that moment when he had literally gone around the minstrels, like the places she used to frequent, when she was an absolute tool to him, just so they could play the music that she loved, so he could get it in like a little music box thing. That was the sweetest, most thoughtful gift, and I thought that she was going to really genuinely throw it back in his face and not back down, but I'm glad that she did, and that was resolved. But then, as you think everything is all peachy and fine and funky and fresh and fabulous, in comes Knob Jockey. I've forgotten his name. The sexist pig that runs the Illyrian camp when Cassian and Azriel out there and Rhys. They basically called Nesta a witch and said that, you know, they shouldn't be doing. I'm glad that they're all Valkyries. I've skipped that point because I can't remember if I read that last night or this morning, because last night was a bit hazy because I was really tired. But they're all Valkyries, they've all cut the ribbon, they've all, it must have been today that I read that. They've all cut the ribbon. Well, I say it all, Emery, Gwyn and Nesta, and it kind of makes sense that it's those three, because it kind of reflects Cassian, Azriel and Rhys. It's kind of like, you know, Three Musketeers situation. I love that so much, absolutely. Just when they all became Valkyries, and then they were like, this course that they did was like really, really hard on them. It took them 2 months to pass it, and then they were like, oh, by the way, that was your initiation for like the blood rite, and you've passed it. And then the guys are watching them, and bless her, Gwyn knew that guys were going to be watching, and she still did it anyway, and she smashed it like a boss. Absolutely super proud of all three of them. Yes, it's fantasy. Yes, I'm still proud. I don't care. And then for them to be taken from their beds without their consent. I know that the magic is dulled, wings are bound, and like weapons are like limited, I think, at the blood rite, but they were taken. See, this is where if they'd have voluntarily gone ahead and said, yes, we want to do the blood rite, and there was like this initiation type thing, you know, the hazing that you know, like American colleges do, where they take you out of bed in the middle of the night, or they grab you from somewhere. They tend to be, if they know that it's coming, they'll tend to be prepared. But the fact that they have done this, knowing that the girls are going to be at a disadvantage because they were taken straight out of the beds, they're just in the nightgowns, they literally have no weapons to take with them like the other guys will have had. that knew that it was happening, that makes me feel sick. The fact that they just like winnowed in and just took them, and it was bound to happen. Just when Cassian had basically forced Nesta to admit that they were mates, she'd invoked the favour because she was so scared and she was retracting into herself again. She invoked the favour that Cassian leave her alone for the night and do not approach her and attempt to speak to her until she attempts to speak to him. And I knew then something bad was going to happen, because it was either a week had passed or until she approached him, and it was obvious that at that particular moment that situation was being used to further a separate plot, to further, like, something else was going to swoop in and happen to stop them from having this connection again after having the argument. And lo and behold, what a coinkydink! That same night, they all get taken from the beds and taken to the blood right, and now the assholes confirmed it. What's his name? I keep forgetting his name. It's really, really annoying me that I keep forgetting his name. But, you know, he's irrelevant right now, isn't it? He's one of these little fleas that he's when I flick. And I will literally just ranted at the girls about this. I hope that they are allowed to just behead that guy. I don't warrant violence. I'm not an intrinsically violent person. But one thing, how do I word this? One of the things that does get me riled is consent, lack thereof, and a lot of things get me riled actually. Sexism, racism, prejudice, many things. But in this kind of situation, what gets my goat is that they've been left defenseless. They've done it out of spite, not because they want to see who was the best, based on the way that they would normally do it with the Lyrian Warriors, is like the best of the best will survive. They've done it out of spite, hoping that these females don't prevail and that they die in the blood right. And the fact that they've done it because they want to be arseholes and they don't want to be beaten by women, and they don't want women to be any like named Lyrian Warriors, and they don't want women to be seen as strong, and they've done it. They've involved them in the right for the wrong reasons. That's what gets me. And the lack of consent and the fact that they've been left to just so much. And I really, really hope that by the cauldron they come out on top. I want them to use their ingenuity and skill and just absolute determination that they've used throughout the months of training and the bond that they created when they friendship bracelets, for Christ's sake. They have friendship bracelets, and they did the whole, you know, nothing can beat us kind of thing, and where the Cassian and Andrew felt a shift and an awakening of some kind. It was just magical, and that happens, and then they get thrown into this. So I'm hoping that bond they've created, not only with friendship bracelets, which we all know creates an amazing bond between people, just in general, that they can slay every asshole that tries to kill them, and that they come out on top. And I want it to be a moment like Azriel, Rhys and Cassian getting to the top together. I want all three of them to get to the top together. I have said this to Liv and Becca as well. I have heard that Sarah J. Maas does not kill off main characters. However, Gwyn and Emery aren't main characters, but they are very heavily involved in Nesta's life. And I feel like if any of those died, Nesta would revert back to how she was before. She would retreat into herself, and she would go off on one. She would probably become the villain of the story. So, which is why I feel like she's going to have to become the hero, or one of the heroines of this story, because otherwise she will bring that dark power to life and she will turn into the villain, and nobody, not even Cassie, will be able to stop her if any of those two women die, I think. So I'm hoping that Sarah J. Maas sticks to what she's normally good at and bringing around a last minute win. You know, resurrected Feyre and Akatar. She stopped Cassian from dying and brought him back from the brink of death in Aka War, so she can bring these three girls back. This is what I'm hoping and praying. And, you know, if the Sarah J. Maas writing gods are with me, then this will be a thing. And this has been yet another rant from me about this book. And this is the reason it's so much to talk about. Not only does it deal with mental health rep, it deals with the representation of women in the eyes of men that is like very traditional, old school values is just so good. But that does annoy me about a lot of fantasy books, is that as soon as you go to a fantasy world, this tends to happen. It's like this full of magic and wonder and everything that we don't have, but then the ideals of these people jump back like so many years. So it's like you're going into a fantasy world, but you're also going back in time, because a lot of the thought processes, especially around women, are very archaic, and it tends to be a lot of fantasy worlds. I like that. So it's kind of like, if you think about it, technically, a lot of fantasy is historical. In some respects, it takes bits from our history, i.e. the sexist way men treat women, but I know it still happens today, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm not going to carry on anymore. I'm going to finish listening to these chapters of my book. I'm going to edit. I've got a phone call with a person today to organise something for a friend, and then I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna jump on a call with girls, have a little bit of a chatty evening, bit of a chill. I had a bit of a breakdown this morning after a little chat on my vlog. I will link my vlog up here, down below, whatever. Yeah, I had a bit of a meltdown, but it is what it is. Axis has made me feel better, as well as lots of coffee. So I'll come back to you tomorrow with another update, and this whole vlog is probably going to be well over an hour, so I hope you've strapped in well and you've had coffees and treats with you. Hi guys, I'm coming at you with an update. I don't know what I'm doing. I have finished Castle of Flames. I have just finished it on sprints now, and oh my god, I cried at Gwyn sharing her story about where she ended up with the priestesses in the library. Just this book, if you've ever struggled with mental health issues, you could learn a lot from this book. I know people deal with mental health issues differently, but this comes from a perspective where the behaviour is extremely destructive, to a point where I really didn't like her, and I didn't feel like she wanted to do anything to help herself. And to be fair, at the point at the beginning of the book, she wasn't doing anything to help herself, and anything that was going on with her, she was just dismissing and just not really bothering about, and just drowning her sorrows and not addressing any of the issues that she had. So because of that, she pushed people away. She was destructive, she was horrible, she was just a despicable human being, to be fair to the people that loved her. And I didn't ever think that by the end of this book that I would grow to really like her as a character. So I knew the whole time that Cassian would be patient with her, that would try with her, because it was obvious from, you know, back in Akawa and that he had feelings from like day one, and there was a spark from day one. And to be fair, from her side as well, you could tell that there was something, but she was just too damaged. And she's not fully healed, she's not 100% better, she's not cured. This is not like some kind of magical thing where she just gets better and everyone's happy, like lives happily ever after. Obviously, we all know how SJM deals with characters, and I knew that. Well, I hoped in my heart that she wouldn't kill off Gwyn and Emery, but the fact that she was willing to die for them was just next level. And I'm glad that Eris didn't turn out to be the arsehole and betray them. Not after everything that he went through to try and convince them that he was on their side. He got tortured by his dad for him as well. Like, that's another thing. And the fact that Nesta's changed herself to have an Illyrian cervix womb area, so that when she's ready to have babies with Cassian, that she can birth them and not die. So she changed herself and Feyre and gave part of her magic back to the cauldron. That whole scene, I was sat here like, oh, the actual frick, Jesus Christ on a bicycle. Every other kind of what the moment was just in my head. It was just so good. I don't know where she can go from here. Obviously Coach Che's still out there. Obviously. Eris's father, oh, I can't remember his name. I don't know if anything's going to happen with Moore's dad, because Kia keeps coming. Is it Kia? Is he going to just stay away in the night court and just be his little arrogant sexist self and just stay away and just, you know, punish Moore by lording over that he still hasn't visited Valkyries? Because that still hasn't been addressed since that happened. Is that going to be a thing going forward as well? Is he going to try and start, like, making his daughter's life hell? I don't know. But on the big bad front, we've got Coach Che and Eris's dad, which I keep forgetting his name. I don't know. I want to know as well, obviously she gave a lot of her power back to the cauldron so that, like, they could change her and she could save Feyre, Rhys and the baby. Which Nyx is such a cute name. Such a cute name. I love it. But the fact that she did that, how much power does she have left? Does she still have the power to imbue things with magic? Does she still have... Is death still her power? Because she hasn't used it in a way where, like, the power that she had, the power that she wielded, she used it to save lives. And the fact that she used all three parts of the trove to do that. And she was able to wield all three that nobody else had ever done before. That was amazing. That would have been can you imagine that scene in a film? That just would have been epic. So yeah. Courts of the Flames, obviously. You don't even need to have read to this point to know my cop-out rating. I don't know exactly what place it sits on the 5 stars. It might just sit at all 10s, because to be fair, I don't know of anything within this book right now that I would change. What I'm going to do is, because I'm still on a high at the moment, I'm going to let it sit for a bit. I'm going to think on what I've read. I'm going to when I'm editing this vlog, I'm going to re-watch the different sections and try and remember the book more objectively, which is what I'll try and do now, because I want to make sure that I give it the right rating and that I'm not just giving it a rating based on the high that I'm currently feeling, because it is amazing. It's not flawless, it's not perfect by any means. Like, the writing style is still very standard, it's not in-depth, isn't. There is some politics about the world of Savage Mass, and because obviously it's, you know, the night court, the different courts and war and things like that, so it doesn't go into depth of like Robin Hobb style political espionage and betrayals and battles and stuff. I don't know how to describe it, but it is still so good. So I feel like right now I can't pick anything apart. I can't pick anything out of it that I didn't like that would bring it down. Obviously there's characters I don't like. I really hate how Rhys handled the whole Fairy situation, and to be fair, how Amren and Rhys dealt with Nesta. That whole situation for me was quite difficult to read. The fact that they were still very judgy of her, and they never got a chat. They never took the time to actually check to see if she changed or improved or anything. They were still just very judgy and like overruling people. It was just very... I hated that bit, but that's because I hate the way the characters are portrayed, not that it would diminish anything about the book, if that makes sense. It wasn't a negative about the book, it was just at that particular moment in time I didn't like those characters. So anyway, this vlog's going to be long enough without me rambling on at the end, but I'm going to say that if you are not into smut, the smut level in this might make you feel a bit nah, because, you know, Akatar was a 1, Akamath and Akawar maybe 2 or 3, but this is 5 plus, to be fair. This is 5 rating smut mixed in with the rest of the plot, so I urge you, if anyone ever says that Sarah J Maas is literally just fairy smut, yes, that is an aspect of her books. Not gonna lie, you can't just shy away from that. But the rep in this, with regards to mental health, is just so good. Following us on this journey was just amazing. One thing that I feel maybe I would like to get more on going forward is the fact that Moore still hasn't told everybody that she likes women. And that's not a massive thing, that should never be a massive thing, but there was still sort of comments made about Asriel and Moore and potential feelings there, and obviously it seems like there's something going on with like Lucian, Asriel and Elaine. Lucian still wants Elaine, and there seems to be potentially some kind of attraction between Asriel and Elaine as well, and maybe that'll be addressed in future books. But I feel like Moore has kind of taken a backseat in this book, and I would like to see more of her and her journey and dealing with obviously what Aerys did, because that needs to be discussed. Does she really know why Aerys left her in the woods? Is there a reason above other than a reason other than the fact that she just leaving her out to die, or did he leave her out there to get her away from the torture that she would have received from his father? Did he do it out like as a man of honour, but didn't want to show that he was betraying his father, the same way that he tried to keep things from his father now, that he's going against him now, but he's trying to make out that he's not? I don't know. I really want to get to the bottom of that story. I would really like to know more about Moore and that whole situation and her feelings and just her story in general. I would like that, whether it's I don't know if I would need a book this big on Moore, maybe another novella dealing with Moore's situation. They're my thoughts and feelings. We need an Asriel and Elaine, not necessarily a book, but perspectives from Moore, Asriel and Elaine would be great. And I would really like to get a tie on how Lucian feels about things as well. So maybe in the next book, just do more perspectives. Just do an overarching night court perspective. Not that I'm trying to write a book like, but you know what I mean? It's followed Feyre specifically for the first lot of books, and then it's following Cassian and Nesta for this one. We haven't really seen things from Rita's perspective, to be fair, although the way that Rita's acted, I'm not really sure I want to. I need to go and read some more stuff because I've got 2 more books to read, and I'm supposed to be doing a 40-hour readathon, and I've not done much reading, so I'm going to head off now, and I've got a crap ton of editing to do, so wish me luck. If you do like these vlogs and you would like to see more spoiler-filled vlogs, I do have a playlist of the first, well, basically the spoiler-filled vlogs, apart from Den of Vipers. The other spoiler-filled vlogs I've all done so far are Sarah J Maas books. I will leave them linked down below in the playlist. If you would like me to do any other spoiler-filled reviews on other books, whether it's standalone or series, please leave comments down below. I am making a list of books I would like to do spoiler-filled reviews on and spoiler-filled vlogs on, so please give me any suggestions that you like, and I will try my best to get around to them at some point. Yeah, so I will see you all very soon. Thank you for joining me. If you got to the end of the vlog, then I would like you to put a fire emoji. That's not fire, but that's not fire. Put a fire emoji if you got to the end of the vlog, and let me know what you thought.